So, to begin, let's see if anyone can guess the idea of this giving pictures right over here. Anyone? Well, okay, so basically this image emphasizes the concepts of biases that happens to be seen in the so-called technologies called AI. As you can see here, there's a software right in the middle that appears to prioritize the health of its white patients over those with darker skin tones. And here's another viral videos I would like to share to all of you here.
Or, how about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things. At least not in a public address, but someone else would.
Fine. Okay, let's stop the videos right here. After watching this part, right? And do we all agree to the fact that Obama seems to be completely different compared to who we know him as, just judging by the way he talks about Donald Trump, right? And so this is where I want to begin the questions of how does this have such an influence on viewers as a whole. Okay, so hi, my name is Zoey, and in today's performance, I would like to further go into several of the existing challenges, including deepfakes and biases, and I will also offer some approaches to govern these two concerns. Wait, what? Okay, here we are. It's true that AI possesses a capabilities to generate a range of realistic means, including images, videos, and audio recordings. But oftentimes, people mostly use that for manipulated intents to deceive others. And so, for the biases, what does it exactly mean anyways? It actually refers to the densities to discriminate it against a specific groups of individuals based on factors such as their race, their gender, their age, and then to other factors that follows. And did you know that recently in this year there have been cases of deepfakes being implicated to spread propagandas and influence the Slovakia's political outcomes? In other words, Canadians who are pro-democracies end up being defeated by their opponents who propose the ideologies of the left-wing movements. And so it has voiced concerns among residents whether this kind of issues will further post-anniversary effect on democratic countries. And also, there's an ongoing terms of scammings and deepfakes that has been popularizing throughout last year to this year's, with many companies have experienced the loss of approximately $25 million due to AI-driven scams, and where imposters deceive employees and impersonating their college's voices through phone calls and authorize them for such an unexpected financial transactions. And so because of that, this issue has prompted the authorities' recognitions to consider a stricter regulations. And to tackle these problems, it's compulsory for educators to implement educational policies that can heighten the students' awareness on combating the spread of misinformation by AI. And so, according to studies, it's often reported that critical thinking skills plays a crucial role for individuals to identifying the misleading sources. Let's just have a look at this graph right here. It details information about media literacies across European countries. And looking from the overall perspective, many countries are now integrating the media literacies into their schools programs. And so let's say by enhancing these schools programs to teach one on how to distinguish between authentic and fabricated medias, it's possible for many countries to dismiss the effects or the influence of deepfakes. And sorry. And for the second promising method is to develop regulations for watermarking contents. Personally, I strongly concur with this idea. Is that not only should the AI-generated images should be watermarked, but the creators' works themselves should also propose same signatures to protect their rights. And also, what is worth considering is that there's the secure digital signatures can also benefit trackers as well. Just try to think of a blockchain technologies, which provided a transparent proof for the histories of any contents without being modified by any possible alternations. And also throughout my research, what amazed me to hear is that there's studies that reveals information about AI detectors that often misclassify the non-native English speaker essay as AI generated. Despite the claims of high accuracies, these detectors measures based on text perplexities, which assess the vocabulary's diversities and grammatical complexities as well. And since most of the non-native English authors, they tend to use a similar language, which is also one of the reasons why their works might often be wrongly flagged by these detectors. And so it can also result in biases and can also have an impact on their academic standings as well, where teachers might accuse of cheating. And so just try to think of another scenarios is when it's come to an employment decisions. Many employers nowadays are now utilizing AI to assess applicants based on criteria such as their nationalities, their age, their experiences, their criminal record, and then so on. But if the potential issues caused by AI are not addressed, these issues might possibly lead to biases where individuals are mainly judged by their ethnicities rather than their qualifications. And just say, for instance, think of an Israelis or the Palestinians, where in which these AI tools may execute them from the job opportunities and consider them to be dramatics just because of the place they were born in or their origins, should I say that. And so it not just only stretching the biases in hiring practice, but it can also have an impact on the fair competitions for certain groups as well. And it's commonly assumed that addressing biases is a solely technical problems, but in fact, to resolve this, it requires an multidisciplinary approaches. Just try to think of when you try to develop a public health act, right? It requires to involve diversity communities members to ensure it's meet the needs from various users, and such as languages preferences or accessibilities, which are other ways to create an inclusive environment for everyone. Let's have a look at this diagrams here. It's depict the human-centered design process that unfolds through a series of key stages. The process begins with so the process begins with identifying user needs and goals. Also, this phrase also involves analyzing the operational factors for implementations, and then moving on to the next step right here. So, this phrase involves having the data gathered and collected from users' feedbacks to feedback to enhance the design through methods such as interviews or surveys to ask them about the desired features and guide the initial prototypes. And then as you advance in developing the products, it's essential to regularly interrogating users' feedback to enhance the design and try to meet the user need to enhance their overall experiences. And lastly, when the system is finally monitored, and they also adjust to the self-deployments in order to address any issues that arise. And so here's my final message. The issues such as biases and defects are major concerns that needs to address through a comprehensive approaches and collaborations among educators, policymakers, and tech developers or the publics. And so by taking these steps right now, we can ensure that AI can uphold trust and well-being for everyone and fairness for everyone. And thank you for listening.